Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. First of all, thank you very much. You know what? Happy Friday to everybody here. I hope you're all doing well. I'm glad to be feeling healthy after my tussle with COVID a couple of weeks ago. It's got a long tail on it, but the virus is still out there. Case in point, John Baptiste is not here again tonight because he caught the COVID. We wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. We love you, John. Right? Come on. Give it up. Give it up in this one. There you go. Luckily, Stay Human's own Louis Cato has stepped in. Give it up for Louis Cato right over there. All right? And when Louis is not on camera, we seal him in Tupperware just to keep him fresh. We have to at this point. We'll poke some air holes. But despite all the COVID of it all, the world is still opening up. For example, over in Germany, after being canceled for the past 2 years, Oktoberfest will go ahead in 2022. Good. Thank the Lord. I am glad to hear that because after 2 years of pandemic, my body is fit only for lederhosen. The beer festival is going all out for their first year back. Attendees will get to swig beer and eat sausages, pretzel, and pork knuckles. As Munich's mayor said, there will be an unrestricted festival which will hopefully give a lot of people a lot of pleasure. That is actually Munich's town motto. Munich, our sausages will give you pleasure. It sounds... Jawohl. It sounds less sexy in German. It's all one word, like Nack versus Sexen machen de bringen. It's not just Oktoberfest. After pandemic upheavals, tomorrow we'll see a return to what's being called a normal Kentucky Derby. So, tiny men on giant horses being screamed at by drunk women in enormous hats. You know, normal. Organizers say the Derby should have a pre-pandemic feel, just with more people asking the jockeys, "Psst, can you score me some horse paste?" If beer and horses aren't your thing, you could take a beach vacay because with the summer season coming up, Greece has lifted its COVID curb for travelers, which is great news for any brides who want to invite 3 men to her wedding in Greece to figure out which of them is her real father. Mamma mia! Now, here in the States, COVID restrictions aren't the only things being removed because Nantucket residents have voted to make all beaches topless. Yeah. Just like the famous limerick, there once was a gal from Nantucket who said of her shirt, "I'll untuck it." Then she took off her bra while singing "Ta-da" and said, "If you're mad, you can suck it." But just because things are opening up doesn't mean COVID isn't still serious. Researchers have recently announced that severe COVID can age the brain by 20 years. Now, if you're wondering, one sign that your brain has aged 20 years, you've recently started watching CBS. Welcome. Remember, drink plenty of fluids, watch plenty of Blue Bloods. Scientists say that a severe case of COVID-19 can result in a loss of mental sharpness equivalent to losing 10 IQ points. And people who choose not to get vaccinated can't afford those 10 points. In devastating news, I got a thing. Yeah? In devastating news for people you don't want to be stuck talking to at a party, NFT sales are flatlining. But why? They seem like such a sound investment. You see, it's a picture. Well, it's a picture of a picture, but the picture of the picture is the picture, and it doesn't really exist, but I promise there's only one of them unless I decide to make more. Let's start the bidding at $10 million. And those who got in on this Ponzi scheme early on are also feeling the pinch because many NFT owners are finding their investments are worth significantly less than when they bought them. What does significant mean? Well, an NFT of the first tweet from Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey sold in March 2021 for $2.9 million. But when it went up for auction recently, the highest bid came in at $277. Wow. I have not seen anything lose value that quickly since Kevin Spacey's Oscars. For his... Really? Really? Too rough on Kevin Spacey? You read the news, right? For his part, the owner of the Dorsey NFT is undeterred, saying that the drop in value is just a normal fluctuation that could occur in any market and that the NFT market is one that is still developing and it is impossible to predict how it will look in a few years. And if you believe that, I've got an NFT of a bridge I'd like to sell you. This, keep driving. You just keep driving. This week has been full of leaks, but no dribble of information is complete without a terrifying new anecdote about former President Napoleon Bonerpill. This. The information comes to us courtesy of a new book by former Defense Secretary and man so patriotic he's got an eagle growing out of his neck. Mark Esper. By the way, Secretary Esper will be my guest here on The Late Show next Tuesday. Please join us. In his book, Esper recalls what was going on in the administration on June 1st, 2020, when demonstrators were gathered at Lafayette Square near the White House to protest police action in the death of George Floyd. And to address their concerns about police brutality, the former president called out the National Guard to hit the crowd with tear gas and rubber bullets so he could walk across the street with Esper in tow and hold a Bible like he was returning a ham sandwich to the deli counter. I'm joking, obviously. He would never return a sandwich. But according to Esper's book, that was actually the best-case scenario. Esper writes that the former president first asked his defense secretary, "Can't you just shoot them? Just shoot them in the legs or something?" Now, folks, every so often you learn something about that rancid garbage pile that unbelievably still shocks you. The President of the United States asked the Secretary of Defense to use the military to shoot protesters. Why stop there? Why not nuke the protesters? Oh, wait, he was saving the nukes to stop the hurricanes. And for the record, shooting them in the legs does not make it any better. Legs are very important. That's where I keep some of my favorite blood. Evidently, he learned crowd control from this training video.
All right now, you wise guy, dance!
It has been a while. I believe that was John Bolton. It's been a while. Good guy. It's been a while since we heard from former New York mayor and depressed testicle Rudy Giuliani. Rudy's having a little trouble holding down a job these days. So instead, he's on Cameo, a service where for a fee, you can get a short, personalized message from a celebrity or from Rudy Giuliani. Now, recently, Giuliani took to Twitter to promote his cameos. He since deleted the tweet, but not before our footage wizards snagged the video.
I'm Rudy Giuliani. If you want to have a really nice conversation, or a birthday greeting, or just talk golf, go to the link below.
We can talk about anything, even about how those who actively seek to destroy their own country face no consequences and can relax on a golf course looking like a happy little potato and culottes. Hawking birthday greetings for Merlot money. Click below. Because seriously, what is that look? He's like a grandpa dressed up as a kid, dressed up as a grandpa. I don't, what is happening down here? What is happening down here? I don't know if he's wearing shorts or longs. It's like an adult diaper and a pair of khakis had a secret baby they hid in the attic. It's like he grabbed some Dockers and when they saw who was wearing them, they took their own life before they hit the ankles. He looks like the new geriatric member of Blink-182. We got a great show for you tonight. Chris O'Donnell is here, and Elvis Costello. Take makes the Colbert question